Hello all you bladers! Today we're unboxing Poison Cyclops C5 Beyblade Burst Surge. If you don't want to watch the entire video, timestamps are in the description. Alright, so here we have Poison Cyclops C5, and one thing I do want to note is this is a Hypersphere Bay, like obviously because it says Hypersphere here. It comes with a Hypersphere launcher, the chip, the ring, and this round driver, but it says Beyblade Burst Surge. Now, I'm aware this came out after Beyblade Burst Surge / Speedstorm already started, but since this is a Hypersphere Beyblade, why is it called Beyblade Burst Surge here? That's weird. Anyway, Poison Cyclops C5, it has a defense type, and then it comes with Guard, Knuckle, and Poison Cyclops. It always comes with a launcher, which is nice. Hasbro, and then if we flip to the back of the box, here's everything you need to know. So the drop-in time is about 2, which means it doesn't move around a lot, but you don't need to worry about it not moving around a lot. Every Hypersphere Bay moves around a lot, that's just the way they are. And then obviously, Poison, oh no wait, that's Cyclops, and then it spins to the right. It's Poison, Defense Ring, and then Knuckle, Guard, DO2, TH30, so let's get into unboxing Poison Cyclops C5 Knuckle Guard. And before we get into talking about the chip, you guys tell me in the comments if you want me to actually open the package on camera or just go straight into the parts, because if you guys want me to record myself in like super speed or anything, unboxing, like opening the box, like here's the box, if you guys actually want me to record myself opening and tearing the package, then I'll do that. You guys just let me know. So anyway, Poison Cyclops C5 chip. Here's a little design thing that is going on. There's these little, it's a little horn here, and then these Cyclops fangs, and then here. So this is the slopes if you want to see it. They don't look super raised. I'd say they look kind of okay from what I can see, but if you got, we will see later eventually. So this is the Cyclops C5 chip. Also, just in case I didn't show you last video, which I think I kind of forgot, here's the Genesis QR code. If you want to scan it, just pause the video for a second. Try it at different angles. Okay, that should be enough. So this is the Poison ring. Right off the bat, it's not completely like perfectly all around symmetrical. It's more symmetrical on the top and bottom, and more symmetrical on the right and left. So obviously on the top and bottom, you can see these little Cyclops fang things, which I guess are supposed to be blocks for defending attacks, I guess. These blocks here. And then obviously there's these like little chain things, kind of like, it reminds me of Kerbeus in some sort of a way, without the gold. There's these little like deflecting attack things, and then these defenses. It's just like, you can definitely tell that it's a defense type right away. And there is these little details carved into these, whatever they are, around the side. It does come with the plastic Zan weight, in the inside, so that's something to note. If you want to see the back, here are the slopes. The only thing that matters with slopes on layers is that they're not flat. If they're not flat, if they're not like completely flat, like Wizard or Glide or Bushin Ashindra or anything, then you should have good slopes pretty much. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this defense ring. So next we have the Knuckle disc, which you can see the initials here. We have K, and then here we have K. So one thing I do want to note with the Knuckle disc is that even though no one really uses it, well, it kind of reminds me of 2B in some way. I mean, I don't have 2B, but it reminds me of the shape from what I've seen of it, like these little 3 dots. I can see why World Spriggan has 2B, starting from the Knuckle disc, but also, one more thing I want to note is any disc that has these little holes on the inside, these spaces, has pretty good stamina so far. I mean, there's the first one, which was 8 dash. I think, I mean, these are the ones I have. 8 dash, you know, pretty good stamina disc. And then after that was outer. Outer was really good back in the day. And then now we have basically a beefed up version of outer, which also has the holes inside it, wheel. So I guess Knuckle was the first version of all these three, and I don't know if it's that good for stamina, but I'm assuming it is, just because it has these holes. Maybe it's just design, or maybe these holes make it have bad burst resistance or better burst resistance, but it doesn't look too hollowed out. 4 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is pretty nice. And it doesn't look too hollowed out. It looks pretty balanced and everything. So that's all I have to say about the Knuckle disc. So next we have the Guard Hypersphere driver, which I do have the black Guard Hasbro version to compare to. So obviously this is Hypersphere, it's gonna have this round ring around it, and it does match the design of Guard pretty well. As you can see, there's these 4 points, and then there's the things on the side, and then there's this thing, and then this this matches it pretty perfectly. There's these 2 things, and the 4, then these things on the top. Now, as for the actual Guard, ring, I think, like in Beyblade Burst Surge, the tips are supposed to... Sorry about that, my iPad ran out of battery. But like I was saying, I'm pretty sure in Beyblade Burst Surge, the tips are supposed to be flatter, and then Guard is a really round tip. I'm kind of sad that it doesn't have the gimmick where it like drops down and everything, but it is Hypersphere. It would not work with the Hypersphere gimmick if it did that. And I suppose because it's flatter, that might be an excuse for it to be Beyblade Burst Surge, but I was under the impression that Beyblade Burst Surge was going to be like Super King Bays, not Hypersphere drivers, because Beyblade Burst Surge comes with high drivers, not Hypersphere drivers. But this looks very similar to Guard, disregarding the fact that it is not circular and that it does not have this drop-down gimmick. It does have the surface surrounding it. It even has the octagon on the inside. There's 8 sides, and this has the 8 sides. I would say that the Guard original, though, is a bit wider as far as the base is concerned. That's all I have to say about this. So let's go ahead and get the Knuckle disc. And we can also get the Cyclops and Poison Cyclops base. So put that in there. Yeah, this is not perfectly symmetrical, which is nice. A lot of chips and bases are perfectly symmetrical, so it's nice that this just has the eye on the bottom and these 2 fangs and the 1 giant horn on the top. It's not perfectly symmetrical. And the Knuckle disc actually does line up pretty well with this base, if you look at it properly. There's these things, and there's these 3 sides, and there's these things here. I guess it doesn't line up super well, but it lines up pretty well. Wow, the Knuckle disc is really small on this layer. So slopes, let me do that again to try and burst it. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do it slowly, describe how it's feeling. So it feels pretty loose as of now. When it gets closer to the halfway mark, it gets way tighter. So first, it's pretty loose. Then when it reaches the halfway mark, it's pretty tight. Still pretty tight. Still pretty tight, and then bursts. So basically, the farther it goes, the harder it is to burst. So kind of the opposite of Big Bang Genesis. Big Bang Genesis started really tight and then slowed and then ended really loose, but Cyclops starts really loose and ends really big. So you need to start off small and end off big. Like you need like Ultimate Reboot or something to burst this Beyblade. So I can definitely see how this is a defense type, even though the tip is flat. That's Hypersphere, so what are you gonna do about it, right? It looks pretty nice when it's spinning. You can definitely see the gold details. And let's go ahead and weigh this guy and then do some test spins. Maybe a test battle. So let's weigh the chip first. It should be about 2 grams only. So it's about 3 grams, which is pretty usual. Cyclops base, about 10 grams. Nothing too heavy. I was expecting a bit heavier, but whatever, I guess. So chip is 3, base is 10, which means that the whole thing should be about 13. So this whole base is lighter than one Big Bang Genesis out layer. And then comparing it with like another turbo layer maybe. I mean, this is pretty deep average for Hypersphere. Yeah, 9 grams. And then 10 disc is about 23, 22. Knuckle disc should be pretty heavy. Maybe not super heavy, 19 grams. Yeah, pretty small, so kind of expecting that. And then comparing it with some other Hypersphere drivers, this one's about 7 grams. This one is about 8 grams, so just a bit heavier. And then if you want to see the layer with the disc, here we go. So layer with the disc is about 33. Layer with the driver is about 22. And then disc with the driver is about 28. I'm gonna say 29, just 28, okay, 28. And then if we put the whole Beyblade together and start off loose and off tight and put it there, it's about 41 grams overall. If we compare that to something like Gargoyle, that's about 41 as well. So I'd say it's pretty light for a Beyblade that is said to be released in Beyblade Burst Surge, because Beyblade Burst Surge, but Hypersphere, so it's weird. But it's pretty light, I would say. It's partly to blame on the disc though. I mean, all these discs on Hypersphere are not that good. I mean, at least give us the 10 disc or 7 disc or 0 disc. Even 00 would work. I mean, those discs are pretty old as it is, but you're giving us something like Knuckle. I guess it's fine. Alrighty, so first let's do a test spin with a light launch. See how it moves around. Just to see how it spins. So when we hand spun it on our unboxing table / desk, you can see the gold. When it's spinning like this, you can definitely see the white on the inside, the silver, and the darkish green around the outside. You can't really see the gold too much, but when it starts to slow down, you can definitely see the gold more. Yep, see, it's popping out. So I guess since the gold is like in smaller details, you can only see it when the Beyblade is really starting to slow down. So that's a light launch. Let's do a hard launch with a flat angle, super hard. So even though the tip is pretty flat, it's not super aggressive, which is normal actually for a defense type. It's gliding pretty smoothly. And then it just lost a ton of stamina, but it did move around quite a lot. So I'm expecting this Beyblade to be about average. I mean, I haven't really seen many battles with this Beyblade since it just released, at least on the Beyblade channels I know of, about a week ago. And I actually got it. I ordered it about a week ago. It just got here really late. So let's actually do an angled launch test with it. So flat launch, twist it, angled launch. So it's not super angled. I'm gonna try to practice this, but any tip to someone who has an angled launch, in the anime they do it like this, but you should really do it like this. So like, instead of tilting it forward, you should tilt it up. So whatever hand you're holding the Ripper with, tilt it up that way. And then the bay should be tilted like this. So if it's a side angle, tilt it like this. That should work better. Yeah, it's looking better, a little bit better. And then obviously it's not making contact with anything, so if it actually made contact, it would do better as a flower pattern. So let's do a test launch test battle. So knockout to Gargoyle. Let's do one more, just to see. No clicks on Cyclops. It did move a tiny bit, like a really tiny bit. So let's put Cyclops on this launcher. Let's put Gargoyle on this launcher. And then we'll actually launch Cyclops first again. this will be a good chance to test its defense. Gargoyle is attacking it pretty hard. I wouldn't be surprised if it loses to Gargoyle, because Gargoyle is pretty good. I mean, I only have 4 Hypersphere Beyblades, but compared to what I have so far, it's pretty good. So, let's see what Cyclops can do. Cyclops is meh. It's not super good, it's not super bad or anything. I mean, it did pretty well. It moves around a decent amount. I would just say maybe it's just average, I'd say. I mean, nothing super good like Big Bang Eclipse Genesis. Nothing too bad like Omni-Odex. Omni-Odex isn't too bad. The point is, this Beyblade is pretty average. We're definitely going to be doing some battles with Hypersphere Beyblade because we don't need Takara Tomi's string launchers to do that, like Rage. So definitely looking forward to doing battles with this, maybe against Gargoyle or Genesis, maybe marathon battles. Probably not mix and match battles because they didn't come in a set, but thank you for watching and peace out. I keep forgetting to show this, but here's the QR code. So there's the QR code, and again, thank you for watching and peace out. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button, share the video, and until then, have fun and keep on blading.